pleasure of hearing our next speaker on two different occasions, and I found things that I implemented in my practice. So you're in for a real treat. Now, everyone wants a piece of our next speaker. In fact, she was once attacked while riding in a convertible by a bird wanting a piece of her afro for its nest. Technology strategist and futurist Crystal Washington works with organizations that want to leverage technology to increase their profits and productivity. Crystal has educated and entertained audiences across the globe. She regularly appears on major television networks and in business publications for her expertise. Crystal is the author of the books One Tech Action and The Social Media Why. Outside of technology, Crystal considers herself to be an adventurous travel fanatic. She once followed a random barefoot mountain man with a machete up an active volcano. Luckily, she lived, and she's here with us right now. So please join me in giving a warm NAIFA, South Carolina welcome to Crystal Washington.
Thank you so much, David. What a wonderful introduction, and it's always great to see your smiling face and to hear your voice. So I'm just excited to be here with all of you today, talking about sales tools and tactics in a rapidly changing world. I don't have to tell you that things have shifted dramatically in the last few months, and it's changed the way that we do business. And it's no secret that it's impacting everyone in slightly different ways. And we're going to get into that a little bit. But I think it's also fair to say that outside of even just the personal impact, some of us are homeschooling children, others are working from home more, trying to figure out how to do certain types of appointments with clients. But because you all don't actually have all the same job functions, this is impacting some of you in very different ways as well, because some of you are financial advisors, some of you sell insurance, some of you are part of, you determine health benefit plans for organizations. So there's such a wide range of people here. But at the end of the day, what we do know is that we still have to be out there networking, building those relationships, and making sales. And that's what we're going to focus on today. If I can make a suggestion, you've probably noticed that my slides are here in my camera. So they're right here. So make sure that you have a view where I am the primary thing that you're seeing, which it should be set up that way, but just making sure for you, depending on how you're viewing this presentation, because my notes will appear next to me right here. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here, all right, with the presentation itself. So our agenda for the day, we're going to look at this in three parts. The first thing we're going to look at is contacting people. How do we even reach out to people right now? Some of you, it's very easy for you. Others, you're like, oh, things are a little weird right now. The next thing we're going to look at is adding value. This is what's going to separate those that are trying to figure out their next direction from the people that really are continuously growing their businesses and their book of business. And then lastly, we're going to look at tech tools for relationships, because I'm a techie, y'all. We're always going to talk a little bit about technology. That's some cool stuff for you. But most importantly, what I want you to know is that we're going to have fun, and I'm going to give you a lot of ideas. I don't want you to feel pressured to memorize everything I'm telling you or to figure out how to keep it all. No, I want you to focus on listening for one thing that you're going to implement in the next few days that will make a difference in your business. Because at the end of the day, your time is valuable. The time that you're spending here at the entire conference and with me for a whole hour, that's time you could be dedicated to doing something else. And so for you to be here, you need to get value out of this. So focus on that one thing you're going to implement so that you can get a good ROI on your time. All right. So we're going to actually kick this off with a poll. And my question in this poll, and you'll see this pop up in just a moment, is which movie title describes your mood right now? Which movie title describes your mood right now? Would you say Happy Gilmore fits you? Maybe you're in an extra great place right now. Maybe you're Fast and Furious, and so you're kind of a little bit of everywhere and you know, just trying to get it done. Sleepless in Seattle. I don't know if any of you are having this same experience, but I am one of those people having COVID dreams. You know, people talk about the strange dreams they're having. I woke up the other night, I lie to you not, I woke up and I had a little tear in my eye. Apparently I'd been crying. And the words that came out of my house, out of my mouth, and it totally confused my husband, was, "Oh no, dinosaur." I dreamed that my friends, the dinosaurs, went extinct, and I woke up crying, so upset they were gone. That's the world we live in. It's weird. Okay. Or in terms of your movie title, is it One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Maybe we don't need to mess with you right now. Maybe give you some space. Or Dazed and Confused. All right, I'll give you about 5 more seconds, and then let's go ahead and close the poll and show the results so we can see which movie title describes most people's mood. So let's go ahead and close it and show the results. And Artem, do you mind sharing what you're seeing as the results?
Right now.
Oh, there we go. I was going to ask you to verbally do it. I didn't know if it was going to pop up for me. Perfect. So it looks like, wow, we have a tie between Happy Gilmore and Fast and Furious. Okay, so that's nearly 60% of us right there, almost. Next in line is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. All right, we got to give y'all some space, and there's nothing wrong with that. All right. And then after that, we have 11% Sleepless in Seattle. Maybe you're having some dinosaur dreams like I am. And then 9% of us are dazed and confused. Perfect. Let's go ahead and close that out. I wanted to kick us off asking this question and taking this poll because I want to acknowledge the fact that all of our moods are shifting, and they're shifting more rapidly than they did in the past because we're constantly having to adapt to a change. Something new is constantly coming at us. In 2020, the foundation of how we understand the world has shifted twice this year. First with COVID-19, and then what I guess I call Human Rights 2020, because we got to call it something, right? So there's this constant stuff and there's these stressors, but then you accomplish something and you're really proud of yourself that you overcame something, and then your sleep patterns might be weird. There's all this stuff going on. I live in Houston, Texas. About a week ago, there was a hurricane that was originally supposed to head right towards me. I remember the moment when I saw that on the news and I saw the projected path as it was coming straight to my city. Do you know what I said? Yeah. I didn't have the energy to worry about it. I just said, well, we'll see how this works, right? We're constantly dealing with something different. So no matter how you feel right now, I honor you. You might feel different in a few minutes. It's okay. We just have to process and keep moving through things. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate you. Here's what I do know. No matter how you're feeling right now, think back about 3 or 4 generations in terms of your ancestors. I want you to think about your ancestors 3 or 4 generations back. And it doesn't matter where they lived in the world, what their status was economically, whoever your ancestors were, those were some people with grit. Because if they weren't, we wouldn't be here right now. We think about all the world events that have happened over the last few hundred years. For them to make it through some of the things they've made it through, those are tough people. And these are the people we come from. So no matter what is going on, we can choose to thrive with what we have. And that is what we're going to focus on today. We are going to take the tools that we have access to, and we are going to use that to come out of the other end of this better than when we came in. Okay? Now, for those of you who love taking notes, feel free to take notes on your iPad or your yellow pad or whatever, or I can just send you a PDF copy of this presentation. It's up to you. Do what works for you. But if you want a copy of this presentation, what you do is you take out your smartphone that is right next to you. I know you're attached to it. You don't let it go anywhere. Type the message C Washington, all one word, C just the letter C, Washington. And iPhone people, don't let your phone put a space in there. Send it to the phone number 22828. C Washington to the phone number 22828. If someone can even type that in a chat box, that way, once I get off of this slide, people will still be able to see it if someone missed it. Text the message C Washington to the phone number 22828. Once you do that, you're going to receive a message asking for your email address. Type that in immediately. Do not wait. It'll cause problems. And once you hit send, you'll get a confirmation telling you that you're going to get a copy of the notes tomorrow. Now, if that's too hard or it doesn't work for you for any reason, we're going to keep it simple. Just shoot an email to assistant@crystalwashington.com with NAIFA South Carolina in the subject line, and Regina will make sure you get a copy of the presentation. So there's 2 ways to get it, either via text or email. Very easy. All right. So now you can actually just sit back if you want and relax, knowing that you'll get a copy of the presentation. So sit back, enjoy your beverage. Hopefully it's coffee or water. But for the one flew over the cuckoo's nest people, it might be something else, whatever gets you through the day. No judgment. All right. So we're going to go to the contact section first. All right. So we're going to launch another poll now since we're talking about contacting people. How comfortable are you reaching out to contacts right now? How comfortable are you? Is it easy? Are you fairly comfortable? Maybe it feels weird to you. Maybe you're afraid you're going to stick your foot in your mouth. Or please don't make me do this, Crystal. Please don't make me do this. So which one of these describes how you feel right now about reaching out and contacting people? I'm only going to give you a few more seconds to get your answer in there. So go ahead and get that in. Awesome, awesome. And then let's go ahead and share the results of that poll so we can see how people are feeling at this time about reaching out to people. All right, here we go. So what is this? What are the ties that we're having here? So 36% said it's easy. Another 36% said fairly comfortable. I feel like this is the same breakdown that we just had in the last poll about Happy Gilmore and Fast and Furious. Okay, so 24%, about a quarter of us says it feels a little weird. 3% said I'm afraid I'm gonna stick my foot in my mouth. And no one says, please don't make me do this, which makes sense because of what you do. But it's possible someone could feel that way. So here's the thing, no matter how you feel about reaching out right now, if you're one of the people, or if you're the quarter of the people that say, I'm afraid I'm gonna stick my foot in my mouth, or it feels a little weird, by the end of this presentation, really by the end of the section, you're going to become more comfortable with this idea because it's about framing. So here's what I need for you to do, okay? So I want you to think about childhood you. So go back to when you were a child, all right? And what I need for you to do is picture toast. You're probably like, why am I picturing toast, Crystal? I want you to think about your mother, your father, grandparents, whoever. Think about one of your elders when you're a child who made you toast. They may have put butter on it. There might have been jelly, marmalade, however they fixed it for you. I want you to remember how that toast tasted. So go back and remember how that toast tasted, okay? Now, I want you to think about the last time you made toast, made it the exact same way they did. Here's a truth that makes absolutely no sense. Their toast tastes better than your toast. And if you have elders who are still alive right now, their toast still tastes better than your toast. Why is this? We can taste intention on food. We can taste someone's care. We can taste someone's love on our food. Now, it goes further than just food. There has been a time where someone has approached you and immediately their energy was off and you knew they were just there to milk you. Like it was just something about their energy where something's at danger. They're trying to take advantage of me. Or you've met people as well who the moment you meet them, you're just like, oh my gosh, there's something about them. You just want to give them a hug. Now, some of you aren't huggy people. So the thought of me saying that, I scared you. It's okay. Come back from your safe place. I'm not going to hug you, but you get what I'm saying. And so whenever it comes to reaching out to your contacts right now, I want you to think about that toast. Intention matters. Now, when COVID-19 first hit, I'm a professional speaker. This is all I do. Prior to mid-March, all I did for a living was fly to city and talk on stages. That's it. There was nothing else to my business. Obviously, when COVID hit and events started canceling and everything, my calendar looked very different. My business looked very different. So here's where the intentions come in. So when I realized what was happening, and keep in mind, I should probably mention to you, I was actually encouraging my clients to cancel because I was afraid that I would become a super spreader because I literally fly from city to city speaking to rooms of hundreds or thousands of people. So I would be the one potentially infecting people, and I'm pretty healthy. So I'd probably be okay, but the thought of hurting people was too much. So when all of these events started canceling and postponing, I talked to my assistant and I said, look, here's what you need to understand. If we don't make another nickel for the next 12 months, I can pay you, no problem. And I can live well because my husband and I are just really thrifty people, right? And I said, so with that having been said, what I want you to do is look at yourself as a fairy godmother. From now on, we're going to start contacting our clients and just making sure they're okay. We're not trying to sell them on anything. We're not trying to get any business out of this. We just want to make sure people are okay. And if you have little opportunities to make their day along the way, I want you to do it. You have my credit card. Go for it. And so we started sending gifts to different clients. I had one client who absolutely has a bacon addiction. Okay. And I know you're probably thinking, bacon's great. Everyone loves bacon. I mean, I'm a vegetarian, but I'm throwing it out there. Once upon a time, I loved bacon. No, he has a bacon obsession. And he had 5 brick and mortar businesses, 5 that were heavily impacted by COVID-19. And so when I spoke to him, and he's just talking about how stressed he was, what I did after that phone call was I actually constructed a bacon relaxation basket for him. I found bacon candles and bacon coloring books and bacon snacks and sent it over, and he was so touched. And we did stuff like that with many clients. Again, had nothing to do with getting business. But here's what's interesting. About 2 weeks after we started doing that, and again, it was never about getting a booking, ever. I started getting clients emailing me saying, hey, Crystal, can you do virtual events? And I was like, well, yeah, I guess I can. I know how to use the technology. It wasn't something I was doing a lot prior. The intention was felt. And so when you reach out to your contacts, and I know you're reaching out to different people, if you're a financial advisor, the people that you reach out to are very different than someone who manages health benefits as a broker or someone who sells insurance with a fraternal organization. You're reaching out to different people. Some of you are more B2B and some are more B2C. Some of you a little bit of both. But your intention matters. And so if you lead with trying to help people, that's going to make the difference, and that's going to make you more comfortable. All right? So remember that toast. Who should you be making contact with right now? Current and past clients for sure. Okay? So those are your actual clients, employer group clients, brokers, subscribers. And again, you're in different positions. So the people that, for instance, Kurt, who's a Wells Fargo advisor contact, are going to look a little bit different than who Carolyn contacts with Modern Woodman. And Alta, who is a health insurance broker, who she's reaching out to is very different as well. Okay? So no matter who it is you're reaching out to, you just have to keep in mind, we have to touch our clients. Now, here's what's magic. I mentioned the fact that I made that call to my assistant. One of the first calls that I made as I was encouraging clients to cancel, and they were starting to trickle in those cancellations, was to my financial advisor. And we had a 30-minute strategy call. And by the end of that call, I was so confident that even if I didn't pull in another nickel, and my husband, who's a photographer, obviously his business is heavily influenced as well. If he didn't bring in anything, we were very secure that we would be fine for an extended period of time. And so I hadn't worried about finances since that call. I say that to say, even reaching out to your current and past clients right now who you haven't spoken to in a while, they need to hear from you because you can provide a source of comfort for them. That's why they're using you and your services. One of my insurance brokers reached out to me during this time too in the very beginning. Make contact with your referral partners, with your peers. This is the time when you touch people so that you can stay top of mind. And you're not doing it necessarily for the sale, even though you will get business from it, but you're doing it just as a human that's caring about people. So here's my challenge to you. I want you to spend a few minutes, maybe just set aside 15 minutes in the next couple days to draft a list of people you will contact. Now, if you have a CRM already, it might be easy. You might be able to just print a report of the people you haven't spoken to in a certain amount of time. But if you're not using a customer relationship management system like Salesforce, or there's a million of them out there, then you might need to just jot it down. It doesn't matter, but I want you to make a point of contacting at least 1 or 2 people per day in your network, just to touch them, just to see how they're doing, just to reinforce that relationship. And when you call them, you might be saying, what should I say? First off, just ask how they're doing. Ask about work and family. You know, what's considered professional has shifted dramatically in the last few months. Once upon a time, people believed in the separation between work and home, which I never quite believed was possible, but that's okay. We put on that front that the two didn't exist in tandem. Well, now it's impossible because sometimes you're having Zoom meetings with people and there's children running around in the background or a dog barking. I was having a conversation with a client the other week and she was breastfeeding her kid under a blanket. This is our new normal, right? And so don't pretend like home doesn't exist. If you're B2B, so you're not used to maybe having as many conversations along that line, just ask about people and how they're doing, and then just listen. All right, you're listening for items you can help them with, things that you can refer a resource for, or even provide a little pick-me-up. It doesn't have to do with your area of expertise. I'll give you an example. Most of my clients that I speak to are corporations or associations, almost exclusively. But there's a couple that are outside of that range. So for instance, I do a lot with Mennonite USA. Go figure, interesting, right? I do a lot with Mennonites. And they have excellent educational resources that are free. And so I had a couple clients, when I spoke to them, they were saying their schools aren't really offering support yet, because this was back in March and April, and they want to make sure their kids don't fall behind, or the stuff that the school's doing, it doesn't look too good. They're afraid their kids need extra resources. And so I was sending them over to the Mennonite education resources. That has nothing to do with what I do for a living, why people hire me. I was just trying to be of help. And ask yourself this: who do you want to do business with? Someone who's a salesperson, or someone who just cares about you? Maybe you look at them as a consultant, but also someone who just genuinely wants to be helpful. And so I want to encourage you to bring your whole self into this. And you've probably already been doing this, but I want you to take it up a notch right now, especially when so much of what's going on is virtual. Some things are in person, but there's more things that are happening that are virtual right now. Now, if you have a customer relationship management system, and some of you, when I say customer relationship management system, you're like, I get it. I used to be in sales. I hated filling that thing out, but it was so effective. I knew that keeping track of my interactions and always having a future touch point, every single person in your CRM should have a future scheduled action item, every single one. If not, we need to update what we're doing, because that's really what needs to happen. But when I used it, oh my gosh, it was so effective, and it actually helped me convert more clients. So please, please, please use your CRMs. Notate any little detail that they're mentioning that may help you serve them better in the future as a client or simply a fellow human, okay? So that's how we reach out and contact people right now. It doesn't have to be awkward. It can literally be, hey, just giving you a call just to see how you're doing. I like to say you're on my heart. That doesn't work for everybody. That's fine. But just say, I was just thinking about you and I hadn't spoken to you in a while. And I know there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now. I just want to call and check on you. How are you doing? It doesn't have to be that deep, but just that little piece. There are people right now. I have some friends that have compromised immune systems and different things going on, who have not had human touch since March. Think about that. And you might know some people like that. You might even be that person. At the same time, I also know people who I actually have one friend, her and her husband have 8 children. And homeschooling is insane for anybody, but their situation has turned into a complete zoo, right? And so you also have people who they have the opposite issue of no touch, where there's too many people. Everybody needs someone that'll listen to them. And this is your opportunity to build those relationships. And it is a sales tactic, it is, but I need you to be genuine, and I need you to actually care, because I can't teach you how to care about people. But if you care, which I'm pretty sure you do, because based on what you do for a living, it's all about caring about people. It's all about making sure people are okay and they're planning for the future. And in their worst times, they have options. And in their worst times, their family have options and safety nets. And so this is what you do. Bring that to the table even more right now. So let's talk about adding value. First thing we have to keep in mind is that retaining a client starts the day after they make a renewal. Add value. So the day after they renew the benefits plan, or the company decides to go with your organization again, or someone renews a policy, that is when the relationship building starts all over again, not 30 days before renewal. And so we have to keep this process going, where we're continually creating touch points with people and showing them that we care. Now, how do you add value? You can do that through one-on-one phone calls, emails, and video calls. Now, rules are different for different organizations. And so some of your organizations, you can use Zoom, some you can use WebEx, some may not be encouraging you to use any of these yet. Again, you have different job functions. So what you're allowed to do is a little bit different, right? Depending on what you do. but don't hesitate to reach out to people. And there's definitely some benefits to virtual calls if you're allowed to do them. You can actually showcase more data. The part of the brain that processes visuals also helps make faster decisions. And so that's why when we provide people with simple visuals, we're actually helping them make good decisions, okay? So you can also do it in groups. Some of you might put together presentations where you're presenting to a group. That's fine. You can do that through group video calls, group chats, email lists, social media. And then what kind of information do your contacts need right now? We'll take a look at that. But whatever value you're adding, I just want to encourage you to remember to stay compliant. I want you to ensure your communications are consistent with standards set by your organizations, the SEC if you're a financial advisor, HIPAA, HITRUST if you're a health insurance broker. So again, you're all in kind of slightly different places, but no matter where you are, I want you to add value. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to jump in chat and share what kind of information or items are you seeing that your contacts need right now. So go ahead and jump in chat and share what type of information you're seeing people need right now. We'll give y'all a few moments to add some things in there. And then Artem and I, we're going to actually read through those in just a moment. So what help are you seeing that people need right now? What items are they needing assistance with? And it doesn't have to be related to your area of expertise. So if you can just go ahead and share in there. And then Artem, just jump in and let me know what you're seeing people are typing. What do people need help with right now?
Peace of mind. That's one. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Don't be shy. I know it's the afternoon.
All right. Oh,
there we go.
Trickling in. What do we see, Artem?
We have hope. We've got clients who are wondering about their investments with the volatile stock market, retirement and life insurance, how income changes will affect what they are paying for their health insurance, long-term care, tax-effective planning, legacy planning, their jobs, legacy building, retirement, to know what cash is available to them in their policies. Retirement seems to be a big one.
Okay.
Job security is another one. So you've got monetized installment sales for business transfers. Options. More long-term care.
Okay. Well, what's interesting is the reason why I wanted everyone to share this in chat, and thanks so much, Artem, for helping with that, is that I wanted people to see that a lot of the things you're putting in here are the same. So you all are seeing that people are needing the same type of information, whether that's information about planning for the future when it comes to insurance benefits, when it comes to financial planning, job-related stuff, change of income, how that influences other items. And a lot of people really do. I love that someone said peace of mind and someone else said hope. People need that right now. And here's what's powerful. You can actually provide people with both. You can give them security in their future by sitting down and having that plan with them, having that phone call, having that Zoom call, having that WebEx, but you can also give them a sense of hope, not just through the information you provide, but by listening, by giving them something positive, giving them a different resource. I had one client she's a third-party meeting planner. So when all these cancellations happened, she was working with multiple organizations that were putting on multiple meetings. So as you can imagine, things were pretty hard for her. And when I spoke to her, she said, Crystal, I feel like I'm sitting in this chair for 14 plus hours a day. My back hurts. I'm just tired. I'm doing my best. And, I just said, I'm so sorry you're going through this. And I'm not the type of person to usually try to draw a silver lining, because I don't know about you. When you're going through it, you really typically don't want someone to be like, doing the cheery thing, right? I acknowledge, and sometimes I make suggestions if there's something I think is helpful. But in her case, I got off the phone. I went on Amazon. I found one of those motorized seat massagers that'll stick on your chair. And I just shipped it off to her. She calls me 2 days later. Thank you, Amazon Prime. And she calls and she said, oh my gosh, Crystal, I can't believe you did this. And in the background, as she's talking, I hear, and she said, this is the best thing ever. She said, I might have to sit in my chair all day long on my computer, but at least I can be more comfortable. That's showing people you hear them. So I want you to match what you already do that adds value. I already mentioned to you how important my conversation with my financial advisor was and how it set the base for everything else that has happened this year in my security, right? But on top of that, having a listening ear. I've had some clients that basically had therapy sessions with me. I'm not a psychologist or a therapist, so I don't offer advice, but sometimes people just need to listen. And what's interesting is that what most of you all do in terms of insurance, in terms of financial planning, you know that oftentimes for those of you that are more B2C, your clients' emotional issues are wrapped up in their other habits. So as they're mentioning the things that are going on, it might trigger you to offer new solutions to them that can help them with problems that they didn't even link to needing different coverage or to needing to make different financial investment decisions. So the options are out there for you. All right, thank you for sharing again in chat. Now, next up, some valuable items. So I'm seeing that a lot of people are asking for child and adult education resources, life hacks, how-to, financial loan, grant government resources, support groups, trusted medical updates. Trusted medical updates. There's some weird stuff out there, y'all. So these are some of the items that I just brainstormed to share with you. Now, once you start having these conversations, looking to add value, how do you get that meeting or presentation? One of the things you should do is relate the meeting to something they care about. So if this is one of your clients who you haven't touched base with in a while, they haven't had their regular meeting or whatever, you can say, hey, we just need to touch base for a quick 15 minutes to make sure you're taken care of. There's a lot going on right now, and I feel that there's some things we need to look at that'll give you peace of mind. Do that. Share benefits of a virtual meeting or in person. Virtual meetings tend to be quicker. They don't have to get in a car to go anywhere. You can provide them with visuals, and it can be very efficient. Share agenda beforehand. I'm really big on that. So let people know what you plan on talking about. And what's even more interesting, you might even want to share a brief presentation beforehand. There are tools like BombBomb or even Zoom where you can do a quick recording where if you want to present them with information before your meeting, and again, make sure you're compliant because you're dealing with different people depending on what your job description is, right? But you can send pre-information so that when you have the actual meeting, they're asking more intelligent questions. They're more informed. I actually see this a lot when it comes to mortgage loans, that industry. And then tailor the meeting to their needs. Don't just do the boilerplate cookie cutter. Make it about them. And if it is virtual, one of the funny things you can do is insert little aspects of their life in there. If they have a new dog, put a picture of the dog on the slide. Something cute to make them smile. People need hope. People need peace of mind, which you all already know. You shared that in chat. They can get that through you. You can do this. At the end of the day, I want you to be an industry thought leader and serve. It's all about service. And that's what you do anyway. So we're just taking it up a notch. That's it. Now let's look at these tech tools. We're going to look at social media first, and then we'll go into some other tech tools. So first off, I want to make sure we're familiar with a few of the social networks here, okay? Now, what you have to understand is that the rules of engagement online are exactly the same as the rules of engagement in person. One more time, the rules of engagement online are exactly the same as the rules of engagement in person. So what makes someone attracted to you in the real world or what endears you to other people are the same things that work online, and the same things that repel people in the real world repel them online as well. And so as long as you know how to navigate and build relationships, social media isn't that hard. It's about finding the right button to make something happen, but you're much less likely to abuse it. Now, I'm also going to demonstrate this whole thing about the rules of engagement online and in person being the same. I want you to close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. I know everybody's eyes aren't closed. Close your eyes. Some of you have trust issues. I want you to imagine you're at home right now, which isn't hard because you might actually be at home. I want you to imagine you hear a knock at the door. You get up, you look through the peephole, and you see a man with a ski mask on. And he says, "Will you be my friend?" Open your eyes. Did you just make a new friend? Probably not, because that's weird. So how's that any different than sending someone a connection request on LinkedIn without a visible profile photo? Equally strange, right? So just remember the same rules apply in both places, okay? Not that hard. So we're gonna go over a few social networks. The first one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is all business. People don't wanna see pictures of your baby. They don't wanna see pictures of your cat. They don't wanna see video of your baby riding your cat. It's all business. And so this is the network that's really good for making initial connections, staying connected if you're B2B especially, but also with some of your colleagues if you're B2C. So LinkedIn is all business. Facebook is all about community. And it's the one that's the most like the real world. And so it's about we and highlighting the good that others are doing as well. If you want to endear people to you on Facebook, add value and bring a community element about it. All right, so the next icon that we see that's yellow and pink, that's Instagram. Instagram is a picture-based social network that appeals mostly to younger millennials as well as some Gen Z, and it's all about visual storytelling. Twitter is a social network that is probably the most misunderstood, but its whole culture is about real-time information and adding value. Ignore how people whose names rhyme with Bardashian or Kieber, ignore how they use it. News breaks first on Twitter. And so all of the news outlets are plugged into Twitter. Reporters, newscasters, they all monitor their own accounts. And so if you're trying to get any publicity for anything that you have going on within your organization, Twitter is where you go to reach out to the people who are in charge of those publications, who manage that news hour. That's actually how I get a lot of my PR. And then the last we're going to touch on is YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine, and it's owned by the largest search engine. The number one way that people use YouTube is for how-to videos. And that's because whatever it is you want to learn how to do, a British guy has already created a video to tell you how to do it. I don't know if it's the same British guy or if it's national pastime over there, not sure. But that's YouTube. Now, YouTube is the number one social network when it comes to search engine optimization. And so if you want to be found online for your expertise, let's say that someone's looking for a financial advisor in Harris County or in a particular subdivision area, that's actually how you would be found. That's the easiest way to do it because it's about 50 times easier to get a YouTube video to pop up on the first or second page of Google than any written text. So having those words you want to be found for somewhere in that title and description are so important. Now you're looking at all these and you're like, Crystal, it's too many. The good news is I don't want you to be on all of these. Most of you, Instagram is not going to be one of your top 2 social networks. YouTube has value, it does. The problem is, especially for those of you that are financial advisors, for the most part, most of your firms will not allow you to get on there. If you're independent, it's a little bit different. Twitter has value, but it's not going to be one of your top 2. So most of you, if you're going to focus on 2 social networks, it would be LinkedIn and Facebook. If you're to add a third, it would be YouTube. Now, pick 1 to 2 and stay compliant. For the FAs that are with us, you probably need to use a compliance tool like Hearsay to make sure that all your interactions are being recorded properly, because we don't want anybody to get in trouble. Okay, we want to keep it simple around here. Okay, now what is your preferred social network? Let's go ahead and launch a poll. I'm just curious to see, what's your preferred social network? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Facebook? Is it YouTube? Maybe it's TikTok because you like to dance, because I don't know what it is about these TikTok challenges, but since COVID and everybody's stuck in the house, all my friends are doing these TikTok challenges right now. And it's funny because as a millennial, seeing how poorly we're doing, we look pretty not cool right now, right? So yeah, it's not working for most of us. Or is it a different social network? Which social network is your favorite? All right. And let's go ahead and share the answers to this poll to see what are our favorite social networks. Okay. 1/3 of us said LinkedIn. 2/3 of us said Facebook. And there's a few people, 3% who like YouTube, another 3% like TikTok, and another 3% like another one. Maybe they're on Pinterest or something, or maybe they're on Twitter. They like getting those updates of real-time information. All right, perfect. Let's go ahead and close that out. So we're a little bit of everywhere. That's fun. Now, keep in mind that as you're on social media, there are different ways you can show up. There's no one way that you need to be on social media other than compliant. That's the one thing you do want to do, right? But I'll give an example. John Laguerre is a wonderful example of a CEO with a unique presence on social media. He's the past CEO of T-Mobile. And if I can be honest, he seems pretty insane. I don't even know how to put it, but insanely fun. I'm a T-Mobile customer, so I was really excited when he was CEO. So he's always like doing these crazy cooking challenges, and he comes on all this high energy and cracking really weird jokes, and there's all this energy behind what he does. And he's on Facebook, and it's very, very interesting. Meanwhile, let's compare him with Jamie Dimon, who's the chairman and CEO of JP Morgan Chase. He doesn't even have a Facebook presence. He's on LinkedIn and he posts things like investing in our people, business, and communities for long-term growth. Meanwhile, here's John again. Now he's on YouTube. He's impersonating the CEO of T-Mobile. He tells people as he's being a Lyft driver. Very different, but both of them are effective. And so all you have to do is be you. And I saw Jeffrey said that Jamie is a DJ as a side hustle. He doesn't even need a side hustle. He's just nuts, but he's a lot of fun, okay? All you have to do, though, is bring your authentic self, whatever that looks like. You don't need to try to be like anyone else. You're probably going to be somewhere in the middle of those two people, all right? So now we're about to have a little bit of fun. We're going to have a lightning round, but here's what's going to happen. I'm going to need 3 volunteers to participate in a little game show. Now, I don't expect anyone to participate in a game show for nothing, so I'm offering a $25 Visa gift card that will be emailed to the winner of this game. So there's going to be 3 contestants. The winner is going to get $25. So who's eligible to throw their hat in the ring? Well, 1, you have to have a microphone because we're going to need you to be able to speak. Extra points if you can show your camera, because I have a feeling that people are going to be more likely, well, you won't get that detail until a moment, but it'll probably give you a competitive edge if you're willing to show your camera. So if you're interested in being one of our 3 contestants, and one of you is going to win $25 today, here's what you need to do. Again, you have to be able to speak audibly. If you can show your camera, that's a bonus, not necessary, but a bonus. I need you to go to chat and type me. The first 3 people to type me are going to be our contestants. Go to chat and type me.
Oh, we got our 3 contestants. We got 3 winners.
Oh, okay. So tell us, who are the contestants?
We have the first contestant is Mr. Jeffrey Hill.
Jeffrey.
Let's promote Jeffrey over to panelist here. He's going to be joining us. The next contestant is Mr. Bruce Pope.
Bruce,
we're gonna put you over into the panelist section in a second. And our last contestant is Brad Tapscott. Man, the bees just had it.
I know, right? And what happened to the ladies? Are you all, maybe it's the camera thing. Did I scare y'all away with that? Some of y'all didn't put your makeup on today. I don't know, but that's okay. So we have contestant number 1 is Jeffrey. Contestant number 2 is Bruce. Contestant number 3 is Brad. Can all of you unmute yourselves right now? We need to make sure that all 3 of you are unmuted. And if you have your camera available, go ahead and show that. If you have your camera available, go ahead and show your camera. All right. Jeffrey, can you check in and say something real quick? I just want to make sure I can hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Okay, next up, Bruce.
I'm right here.
Fabulous. And Brad.
Right here.
Okay. Is anybody showing their camera right now? I can't tell from my view.
Crystal, you've got all 3 of them showing their camera, and Jeff is actually in a mask in public, shopping or doing something.
Yes.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, so are we going to, let's go ahead and cancel the spotlight on my video so that we put it in speaker view.
Yep,
That way we
right
can
now.
see them pop up. Perfect. Okay. Everybody's moving on the slide. Thanks so much, Artem. I appreciate you. All right, gentlemen. So hopefully you all are ready. Everyone who was not chosen, but you're interested, you have a very important role to play. So don't go anywhere, because here's how this is going to work. Each panelist will have 30 seconds to answer a question. We're going to have 3 questions, but each panelist will have 30 seconds to give their answers to these questions. After 30 seconds, if they go over, a buzzer will sound. You got to keep it brief, y'all. Everyone will vote on their favorite answer. So what that means is if you're not playing, you are determining the winner, okay? So if they don't win, y'all don't be mad at me, be mad at your peers, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to get started with the first question. Remember to keep it brief. You only have 30 seconds or you're going to get buzzed. All right, so time for the first question. Share your best piece of business advice for everyone listening right now. Let's start with contestant number 1, Jeffrey.
All righty, best piece of business advice. We know prospecting is the lifeblood of your business, right? So ideally, you want to get really good at referrals. I typically average 16 names per appointment, but I don't just ask for 16 names. I ask for 4 names in 4 categories. So tell me who you work with, Tell me about your friends. Tell me about your family. And then you got 4 people you might go to church with or you do your leisure activity. So friends, family, church, or leisure, and work. When you do that, it's called circle talk. You'd be surprised at how high
Thank
your
you
referrals
so
go.
much. That was great. You were just buzzed out, but referrals, and you gave us a whole blueprint for it. Thank you, Jeffrey. That was awesome. Okay, Bruce, what do you have?
I'd say for our business, if you're going to be prospecting or doing anything, that you have to be prepared first. So spend time preparing for what you're going to do. If it's prospecting, be prepared to prospect. If it's introductions, be prepared to introduce yourself. If it's closing, be prepared to close and visualize what you're going to do and say in your close, and then execute.
That was excellent. Okay, preparation. Perfect. All right, Brad, you're bringing up the rear. What advice do you have?
Listen to the other 2 gentlemen who spoke before me and follow everything they said. No, I'm kidding. I think what I would do is care about your clients, care about your environment, care about the people who are around you. Make sure you have systems in place to be able to handle that workload that comes in. If you build it, they will come. So put the people in place to be able to hug and take care of your clients as good as you do.
That is fabulous. And you were right at that 30-second mark. I was waiting to buzz you. It was close, y'all. I was excited. All right, but that was a good one, Brad. So let's go ahead and launch the poll, and then I'll help you all remember who gave what answer. So you're going to determine who answered question number 1 the best. Contestant number 1 is Jeffrey. He talked about referrals with friends, family, church, all those different things, very specific. Contestant number 2 is Bruce. He talked about preparation. Be prepared before you prospect or do anything. And then we had contestant number 3, Brad, who first tried to rip off both Jeffrey and Bruce, but then just said we need to care. So go ahead and put in your vote so we can see who won round 1 of the game. All right.
And the votes are coming in. We're about halfway in. We've got Jeffrey in the lead with 49% of the votes. We've got Bruce sitting at about 13% of the votes, and Brad is at 39% of the votes.
Okay, let's give them maybe another couple seconds, and we're going to close it out and share the results. All right. Speak now or vote now, and forever hold your peace. All right, let's go ahead and show those results, Artem.
All right. Looks like we've got a winner. Ding, ding, ding.
Woo! Okay, Jeffrey got round 1, and that was a close one because he was pretty close to Brad, but Bruce had some great information too. Fabulous. Thank you so much. All right, gentlemen, time for question number 2. Here we go. Question 2, name one of your favorite tech tools for insurance and financial services professionals and share why you find it useful. Let's go ahead and start with Jeffrey, who's contestant number 1 because he won the last round. What do you have, Jeffrey?
You said name one of your tech tools?
Your favorite tech tools.
Oh, okay, great. My favorite tech tools. I would probably have to say TAC, T-A-C, Total Advantage Calculator. It shows a side-by-side comparison of qualified accounts versus tax-free accounts, which is the staple of my business. That would be probably the number 1. The second would probably be funnels. Funnels allows you to create a lookalike website that helps drive your clients to making a decision. So I can take them where I want from a pathway standpoint. So I would say those 2.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, we have Bruce. What do you have, Bruce?
I enjoy using a personal planning analysis because it helps me to build out a comprehensive financial plan based on the goals of the client, and they're able to see how their concerns, their desires, their goals can be accomplished through the plan, and we can track that over time, and they get assurance and they can make better, more informed, educated decisions.
That was awesome. Plan. Thanks so much, Bruce. All right. Come on, I see y'all. Y'all are trying to get as much good stuff as you can in there. Y'all serving everybody else who's watching. All right, Brad, what do you have?
I tend to use Microsoft Teams for doing face-to-face meetings with clients here and in other states. It's very interactive, very good. I've used Navaplan for any of our financial planning tools, but mostly just drawing on a sheet of paper and helping them realize if I can't do it on the back of a napkin, I probably can't do it.
Ooh, all right. And you got really close to that 30-second mark too. Great suggestion, Brad. Thank you so much. So let's go ahead and open up the poll, and I'll help everybody remember who gave what answer. So contestant number 1 was Jeffrey. He talked about using the total advantage calculator as well as creating funnels. So some great business systems. Contestant number 2 is Bruce. He talked about the personal planning analysis for his clients to help his clients make smarter decisions. And contestant number 3 is Brad. He couldn't just choose one tech tool. So he said that he uses Microsoft Teams, Navaplan, and paper and napkins. It's just good to write things on paper and napkins, because if you can't, he said you might not know what you're talking about. All right. So what percentage of people do we have in on the vote right now, Artem?
We've got, I think Brad is coming up there with the napkin with the 56%. We've got Bruce in close second at 24%. Jeff's coming in at 21%, but man, the napkin is really taking off right now. It's at 58%.
We like napkins. All right, well, let's go ahead. I mean, you have a few seconds if you're listening to get in your vote if you haven't already. Just a few seconds. All right, let's close it and show our results. All right, we like paper. We like napkins. All right, so Brad won this round. We only have one more round to go. So let's go ahead and prepare for question number 3. This one's going to be fun. You're going to have to think really, really hard on this one. So I hope you're ready. All right, here we go. Tiger King, toilet paper, or murder hornets, and why? It's not even a question, but it kind of is. And Brad, since you won the last round, I would love your answer right now.
Tiger King, hands down. There's nothing more bizarre than that. And that pretty much describes how this year's been. The turmoils that he went through with his staff, with the woman who was after him for the cats. I got to tell you, that guy persevered, and God bless him.
All right, he persevered and he's in jail. All right, Tiger King, awesome. Let's go with Bruce next. What's your answer, Bruce?
Oh, I'll go with toilet paper on this one. It's something that we all need, and we've got to persevere through it. I don't know why we all needed it during the COVID pandemic from that standpoint, but we're still trying to figure that out. But everybody needs toilet paper. We want to make sure that everybody enjoys and has what they need. So let's go with that.
All right, toilet paper. And I understand, because here's what's interesting. Before COVID-19 ever hit, something that I learned about my husband in the very beginning of our relationship is he measures wealth in toilet paper. So if we ever have any less than 40 rolls, he feels like we're doing something wrong in life. So his level of success is honestly dependent upon the amount of toilet paper in our house, which confuses our financial planner. All right, so up next, we got to listen to Jeffrey. He always has these great detailed answers. Jeffrey, what do you have?
I'm going to go with murder hornets. Everybody else chose the first two. Murder hornets, because we hear about pandemics, we hear about things that happen, and they come and go. Just like the Saharan dust that was supposed to change the climate and everything, we also had murder hornets that was supposed to come over here and change everything. But what we have to do is remain calm and vigilant and make sure none of this stuff affects our clients and our planet. That's my answer.
I love it. So Jeffrey said, make sure the murder hornets don't kill your clients, because that messes up your total advantage calculator, because you have less clients to put into the funnel. I love it. So let's go ahead and launch the last poll to see who won this last one. So I'll help you through. Contestant number 1 is Jeffrey. He chose murder hornets because they didn't come. Yay. Number 2 was Bruce. He chose toilet paper because we need it. And then Brad is contestant number 3, and he chose Tiger King because that man is absolutely insanely hilarious. And he's also in jail. It's unfortunate. All right, so go ahead and get those votes in. Artem, don't tell us who's in the lead, but what percentage of people have voted so far? How many votes do we have?
We've got about 60% of the people voted right now.
Okay, go ahead and get these in, y'all. You're going to determine who's going to walk away with that $25 e-gift card. We might be paying for Brad to, I don't know what Brad would do, maybe to care more. I don't know, maybe he'll get a gift for somebody. Bruce, he's going to take that $25 and buy some more toilet paper. And Jeffrey, I don't know what he's buying right now, but I'm pretty sure he can use that $25 wherever he's at shopping. All right. So let's go ahead and close out the poll, and I'm as surprised as you are. I don't know what the results are. Let's see who won by sharing the results.
Here we go. Wham.
What is it? Oh, it was so close. Oh my God. It was Brad. Brad won with 36%. Bruce had 33%. And Jeffrey had 31%. Every vote counts, always. All right, so let's go ahead and give a round of applause. You can go in chat, say yay, whatever you want to do. But let's give a round of applause to Jeffrey, Bruce, and Brad for being great sports. Brad, within the next 24 hours, you will be getting a Visa e-gift card from me. Thank you for participating. Hopefully that was, yes. All right, so y'all can go ahead and mute yourselves. You can turn your cameras back off. Unfortunately, Artem might even demote you, but we appreciate you for jumping in while you were in there. Great job, everybody. And I think the biggest winner right now is all of us, because we had an opportunity to learn from our panelists. All right, let's bring up the rear of the presentation just a little bit more. I want to leave you with some LinkedIn tips since we're talking about social media. Refresh your photo and banner image. This is time to do that. Add keywords. You cannot be found on LinkedIn for any words that are not somewhere in your profile or on your company page. So you have to make sure that any words that a prospect would be putting in to search for you are actually in there. And then select a couple groups and interact, maybe not daily, but as often as you need to, but select groups based on if your target market is likely in them, all right? And let's just give an example. You can even make sure that your profile is nice and interactive and fun. Under the About section, you can add projects, things that are colorful. If you've done any interviews on your area of expertise, if you have any materials that you think the general public would benefit from, yes, you can post it as a post, but you can also put some pretty cool things in your About section. For Facebook, if you're using that as a major tool, interact with maybe 3 business contacts per day. Now, if you have a personal profile and you're using it for business, people feel like people they're connected to on Facebook are real friends. And so that's kind of the benefit to that. So make sure you're taking advantage of it. A lot of my business contacts I'm friends with on Facebook. But if I can be honest, if you're going to do that, there are some family and friends that can't make the cut. I have one cousin who's been sending me connection requests for at least 8 years. That ding dong hasn't figured out. I will never accept him, because the moment I do, he's going to post pictures of me potty training with beef jerky in my hand. I know how that jerk thinks. So make sure that you think about who should actually be connected to your potential clients. It doesn't mean that you can't have your social connections on there, but we know all of our social connections are not created equally. Highlight what other people are doing and invite contacts to virtual happy hours and meetups. I'm actually seeing some people, especially I'm seeing this more in financial advisors, where they're actually having wine tastings, where they mail off the wine ahead of time. Now, you can do things like that. You can send out gifts. I've seen people do paint by numbers, where they mail out the little Amazon kits that are $10 or so, and then they all come on and paint together. There's many different things you can do, all right? So just be creative. Tech tools for social media posting. You can use tools like Fiverr and Upwork to hire designers and managers. Hootsuite to set up posts on timers. Canva, which allows for polished desktop publishing. Microsoft is not it, people. Don't do that. Jiffy, if you want to create animated images. Pick, Play, Post, which you can create photo and video collages. There's all kinds of cool tools out there. But keep them in mind, I want you to optimize your post by using branded elements provided by your own organization. Your organization, and I mean your actual company that you work for organization, they probably have things that you can use. If you want to make meetings happen, these are some more tech tools. Doodle is one of my favorite tools, because if you have ever had to schedule a meeting with more than 3 people at a time to get people's schedules linked up, is a special type of Hades. Doodle's a great tool for making it really simple. And then using things like Zoom, Skype, GoToMeeting, WebEx, FaceTime, whatever works. And your organization might actually have a preferred platform. So make sure you're using whatever platform you're supposed to be using if there's a preference. Cards and thoughtful ideas. Now, this is something I enjoy doing. You can send customized cards using things like TouchNote, and send out cards where you can put their pictures on the front of the cards. If they mention something funny, you can put that on there as well. I've gotten cards with candy corn on front saying I'm gross, because I love candy corn and people like to make fun of me, even some of my clients. There's so many things you can do. And with send out cards, you can even send gifts as well. And it's easy because you set them up using the app or the website on touch note or send out cards, and then they mail things out. And you can even do celeb shout outs or custom videos. Fiverr is a great resource because you can hire people to do remote work starting at just $5. Anything from graphic design to research. But the best thing about Fiverr is it's full of weirdos, but good weirdos, or at least the ones I interact are good. And so you have people that do puppet shows. So if you have a client or a contact that loves Disney, there's someone on there with Disney puppets that'll do a puppet show for that person, a video starting at $5 where they're customizing it to their name. All kinds of wonderful weirdos. Or you can use a tool like Cameo, where you can hire anything from celebrities to social media stars to athletes to create custom videos for your clients. So for instance, let's say that you want to send your client a video from Ice-T. Now, I don't know exactly why you would send them a video of Ice-T, but let's say you did. Maybe they have a thing for Detective Tutuola. He's on there. So you could hire him to send them a little custom message. You can send gifts. There's all kinds of sites, and you can come back to this slide and look at them later. You can send all kinds of gifts. Some of them are highly functional. Some of them are fun. Drizzly if you're trying to send alcohol. But if I can make a suggestion, I wouldn't suggest sending anyone an alcoholic beverage unless you know for a fact they drink, because no one wants to make someone fall off the wagon, right? So let's make sure we're being thoughtful in that too. But just remember, consider company policy and client industry standards when giving gifts, because it's not the same for everybody. All right. So I've given you a lot of information. If you don't mind jumping in chat really quick, we're about to open up for questions, but there's one or two things you can share. One, if you have a question for me, we're about to open up for that. Type in your questions, but also type in the one thing you're going to do in the next 3 days. What's the one thing you're going to do in the next 3 days? So type that in, type in your questions. We have a few minutes left over. Our game show went a little long, but it was so much fun. All right, so let's go ahead and open it up for any questions you might have, and then share what you're also going to work on as well. So Artem, what are you seeing in chat right now?
Kurt said he's going to check out Cameo. Sorry, that was Jeff Hill. Kurt said he's going to update his LinkedIn. And then Jerry Latta said he's going to make more contacts. Casey Chambers plans to focus more on LinkedIn. We've got people saying that they're going to draft a list of clients to call join LinkedIn or hearsay compliant. Sandra loves the customized cards, videos, etc. Augustine says order thank you cards to send out regularly. Use Fiverr more. Compile a list of contacts to check in with. Update LinkedIn. LinkedIn seems to be a popular one. Research Canva.
Okay.
I will say I use Canva, and I absolutely love Canva. I live and breathe on Canva.
Isn't
And
it
same thing with
amazing?
Doodle. Doodle
Yeah.
is something I've been using for years, and I can't live without it.
It's amazing. And if anybody has any questions for me, speak now. You don't have to forever hold your peace. Once you get the notes, you can actually reply back to notes if you have any questions you think of later. But I'm here. So if you have any questions, this is your last opportunity to get that in, because we only have about a minute left.
Mike Ward says, yes, Doodle and Canva are life-changing.
They are amazing. Amazing. Okay. Well, it looks like we're right up on the hour, Artem. So I guess I'm turning it back to you, and everybody
All right.
will get a copy of the notes if you follow the directions earlier. And if you have any additional questions for me, just reply to those. And it's actually me. It's not an AI bot. I am happy to help you in any way that I can. But keep going out there, making those connections. The work that you're doing is more important now than ever before. You give people peace of mind. You're helping them plan for a future when so many things are uncertain. And so I just want to wish you the very best going forward, and thank you for the important work that you do.
Thank you, Krista. Appreciate it. Mr. Lloyd, back to you.